everyone, and welcome to the LTH product briefing. I'm joined today by the founder of Lawmatics and very excited to have you here today. For those of you who aren't familiar with Lawmatics, or with you specifically, Matt, can you give us a little background on both you and the company?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me today. I'm very excited to be here. Quick background on myself. I was a practicing lawyer. I still am a lawyer. Keep my license. My parents would be pretty upset if I let it go. I practiced for a few years and then I started my own law firm. I had a problem at my law firm, an issue with a client that I needed to solve. And long story short, I ended up creating a company called My Case out of that experience. Most people probably know My Case. Most of the people who will be seeing this probably know My Case at this point. So I founded that company back in 2000 and stayed with it through 2015. And I started Lawmatics in 2007, really seeing a need that had existed in the space for a long time, but it was a need that hadn't really come to the surface yet for law firms. In 2017, it really did. The writing was on the wall. Lawyers were starting to think about their firms as more than just law practices and really more as a business. And that meant that the tools that we created at Lawmatics, tools that have been available for lots of other companies for a long time, needed to make their way into legal. And so that's when we started Lawmatics.
Wonderful. And so what's the core problem you set out to solve with Lawmatics?
Yeah. So I think the core problem is really one focused around business. And the idea being that the tools that were available for law firms were really focused on helping them practice law. And that could be billing, document management, just things that are needed when you have an actual case. So helping a client through a matter. That's what typically had been built. That's what we built at My Case, right? So we knew it really well. But what hadn't been really built for law firms was everything else that they needed around managing an actual case. So the business side of it, the sales or intake side of it, the marketing automation, marketing analytics side of it, everything that goes into growing your law firm from a business perspective, understanding the data that makes your business run, those were the things that were really missing. So we set out to solve that problem. Automation plays a really big role in solving that problem, in our opinion. So as a CRM and marketing automation platform, we thought that automation in general would be a really valuable proposition. And so that became a very core piece of the platform.
Excellent. And then thinking about your target demographic, who are you targeting with Lawmatics? Who's the right user for you?
The right user for us is a couple different things. I think to hone in on a couple in particular, I would say a firm that has a pretty nice volume of leads coming in the door, or a good book of business, right? And the reason why I say that is because a big book of business means you've got a lot of gold in there that you can go and mine. Lawmatics is half of what we do is going to be focused on marketing automation, nurturing newsletters, just turning that book of business into new business throughout the remainder of your career. But if you have a good amount of leads coming in the door, it means that you could benefit from automation. You can save a ton of time. You could also increase your conversion rates. You are going to be able to get more clients from the leads you have coming in with a product like Lawmatics. The data just categorically proves that. So that's really ideal for us, is somebody who's got that volume. Now, the other aspect would be maybe you don't currently have that volume, but you want to grow. It's a priority for you to increase the volume of leads that you're currently getting and the number of clients that you're currently getting. We love those type of firms because that's an area that we can really help them grow in the sense of understanding. You're going to dive into the world of marketing. We're going to help you understand what's working, what you should put more money into, what you should pull back from, and just really help you optimize that journey, because it can be one filled with a lot of pitfalls if you don't have the right metrics in place.
I love that. Great. Let's jump in and take a look at it, shall we?
Yes. So the idea behind Lawmatics, and again, I'm going to try to keep this relatively brief, so I'm not going to dive too much into the weeds, but it is meant to be a full-featured CRM and marketing automation platform. And so that means everything you need on the sales and intake side, everything you need on the marketing automation side when it comes to email marketing campaigns, newsletters, nurture campaigns, and then also a very robust automation and analytics platform. And so I think what's really great oftentimes is to see how a process would go, right? Like what you would actually do with a new client. And where that really starts is in our custom forms feature, which allows you to build any sort of intake form. It can be something that just goes on your website, which asks for a first name, last name, and email address, or something really complex like a 30-page estate planning questionnaire. Right? It can be anything and everything. And so if I were to create one, we'll call it Legal Tech Intake, and I can just very easily add last name on here, an email, and phone number. And just like that, we've got an intake form that we can embed on our website or do whatever we want with. And we can also see, if I were to open that form up, we can see this is what the form would look like if I sent it to somebody through our sort of functionality here. But we can very easily embed this on a website so it just lives on a law firm's website. So just like that, let me come over here to our marketing automation and let's just create a quick automation. So we're going to have to give it an entry condition, and our entry condition is going to be whether somebody has filled out that form that we just created. So here it is. So when that form is filled out, now that's going to be our trigger, right? And so it's super easy. And so what do we want to have happen? Someone comes to our website, someone comes to your website as a law firm. One of the most important things that you can do is engage them right away, right? So maybe the first thing we want to do is send a text message. We want it to be personalized. So we're going to say, there we go. You obviously would type a much more significant message here, but just like that, we've got the most basic automation now that is going to fire out a text message. And maybe the next thing I want to do here is I also want to put them into a stage. So I've built this beautiful pipeline of what my intake process is, and I'll show you that in a second. But one of the things I want to do when this new lead comes in is I want to put them in the right stage of that pipeline. So I can come here to change attributes, and I'll go to stage, and I'll put them in as new lead, right? And then the next thing I might want to do is I might want to then, let's do a delay. So I'm going to delay for 1 minute. And then after a minute, I want to send out a booking request. So I want them to be able to book a 30-minute consultation, right? Or an initial consult. So I'll do this. I can send it as a text or an email. I'll send it as an email. And just like this, now I've built a pretty robust automation here. All I got to do is turn it on, and now this thing will be operational. So if I come back over here to my forms and I go ahead and fill out this form, come back in here, come into my CRM portion. So this is where my CRM lives. So if I open this up, you can see here I am. This is my lead that was just created. And so now you can see that this intake automation is running. So if I refresh this whole page, we're going to see that now I've been put in this new lead. So it's automatically put me in. And we can also see that this text message has been sent out. Hi, Matt. Thank you for reaching out to our firm. And if I take a look here, and maybe I can even show this, but we can see that I've gotten the text message. And what's cool is I can say, thank you for contacting me so quickly. I respond to that text message. If I come in here, I'm going to see that I get that response here. And I can actually have a conversation. I can engage in the text messaging right here in the app with my client. And I can see this timeline that's going to show me everything that is happening. And so right now, almost everything has happened, but you can see that we're right in that delay. So in probably another 30 seconds or so, it's going to then trigger that email for me to book a consultation. And so you can see how using an automation can just save so much time. But what it does even more so is it prevents anything from falling through the cracks. Because you can set up not only automations to help when a lead first comes in, but you want to set up automations at every step of your pipeline to make sure that people don't fall through the cracks. So if we look at a pipeline, this is what our pipeline view would look like. These pipelines are customized to your firm. You can have multiple pipelines, but it's a real good visual representation of what your process looks like. Now, a lot of law firms might have different processes for different types of cases. So we allow you to have as many different pipelines as you want so that you can really map that visual representation of each particular type of map.
And every practice group then can work in the way that works best for them.
That's right. They can have their own automations. I mean, it's really very personalized.
Right.
So Lawmatics has a very robust document automation platform built into it that is really designed for fee agreements and getting signatures. So we have a signature request system built right in. What's really cool about our document platform, you can upload PDFs and you can merge information onto it. You can do a lot of really great things. But one of the coolest parts about it is our custom document, like our online feature for building documents, allows you to really come in here and build a document in pieces. And what's really great about this is each piece of your document can be made conditional upon data from your. So information that you collect during the intake process can be used to make a decision on what part of the document should be shown to a particular client. And then this document will be automatically created and sent out for e-signature to your client. And then again, the natural evolution of that is once the document has been signed, so if we come in here, we'll see all of our documents and whether they've been signed or not. Once it's been signed, you can use that as a trigger to then convert this from a lead to a client and also sync all the data with your practice management solution. So there's no real manual effort involved there. Another really important aspect of what we do is the email marketing piece. We are a full email marketing suite. So one of the things you'll do is you'll build out your emails, and we offer two types of emails that you can build. One is a template email, which is what you would expect if you're going to do a newsletter or any type of email. So if I was to take a look here, here's a template, and you can customize them. You can do one from scratch. But if I create this template, you're going to see this is a really beautiful builder, really easy to use, everything that you would possibly need to create an email. You can embed video and social icons and things like that. But my favorite is really building a plain text email. Because to me, for example, if you book a consultation with a law firm, I want it to feel, as a client, I want it to feel personalized. I want it to feel like someone there really took the time to sit down and write an email to me and confirm everything. And so we allow you to do that. I grab this as a Matter email and create it. So we've done some really cool things with the ability to merge data into an email. So not just personal information like name and plugging in those sort of merge fields, which is obviously really easy to do here, right? But imagine you schedule this consultation. You want it to sound like you wrote it. We're all probably used to getting a confirmation that says, hey, here's your consult. It's like consultation date. And it says 1/2/2025, time 1:30 p.m. What we've done is allow you to use those dates that are created each matter and merge more like natural language based fields into the platform. So you can do something like this. Hi, so-and-so, I am happy to confirm your initial consultation for next, right? This would be something pretty common language, like next Wednesday, next Thursday. We can come in here to appointment fields, find the appointment. So this is going to be the initial consultation appointment, and we can take day of the week and merge in the day of the week. And then we can say keep making that mistake. Sorry. I can do the same thing and get the time. Now you've got this email template that is going to really feel like you actually wrote it down. If you get this email that says, hi, happy to confirm your initial consultation for next Wednesday at 1:30. We can't wait to see you there. Doesn't feel like an automated message, right? That feels like a really personalized message from the law firm. And that's just creating a really great positive experience for your client, which is really important. You're trying to make a first impression. You want them to hire you. You got to create a really great experience. This helps you do that. So once you've created these emails, you can come over here into an audience builder and you can build an audience list, and you can build it based on any criteria in the entire database, custom fields, anything that you create. We have all this filter logic. So if you want people who, I want to just send this to everybody who lives in San Diego, and it's going to live update and give you kind of information about it. So we have 4 people, right? If I change it to is not equal to San Diego, we get a lot more. Right? So you can really filter this however you want, and you can add multiple filters and create advanced filter logic. And then this becomes a live list. So as people meet the criteria to be on this audience, they will just automatically be added to the audience list. You then come in here to campaigns and you create a campaign. We have 3 different types of email campaigns that we can run. You can run just a one-time campaign. This would be best for newsletters. Hey, it's that time of the month. I created my newsletter. I want to come in here. I can either run it right now, or I can schedule it to go tomorrow morning or whatever I want to do. You pick your audience list, you pick the email you want to send, newsletter, and then you just hit create and it will run it. Repeating, this is more for marketing agencies. I'll skip over that for right now. But then one of my favorites, which is date-based. So one of the things that I would ask all lawyers out there is, how many former clients do you have? And the number is probably pretty high. Maybe you just started practice. Maybe you've been practicing for 50 years. In that case, you'd have a lot of former clients. Maybe you inherited a book of business. But the bottom line is you've got former clients out there. Maybe it's a few dozen, maybe it's several hundred, maybe it's several thousand. I always ask, what do you do for those former clients on their birthday? And the answer I get is nothing. How do I do that? How am I going to do something for them on their birthday? Lawmatics just automates that whole thing. So imagine going in there and creating that very personalized email wishing the person a happy birthday. It's a very simple thing to do. It's like marketing 101. You simply come in here, you do that audience list. So let's go with hired clients. Come in here to email and we find our birthday email, and then we could do date-based and we just choose the birth date field and we choose the time we want it to go at. And now everybody on this audience list, whenever their birthday comes around, it's going to automatically send them that email from your firm at the time you specify. It really automates something that you just flat out can't do manually.
Yeah, it would take a bunch of staff and support to get done as well.
That's right. So once you've sent out emails, we're going to give you all sorts of analytics on it, like your send rate or how many people you've sent it to, what your open rate is. You can double click into one and get more details. So open rate, bounces, you can really get kind of everything. There's a lot more under the CRM. We have very complex conflict checking. This is very important as an intake tool because you need to be able to run conflict checks. But since Lawmatics is all about automation, we've really built an incredible way to automate the conflict check process. process and create these sort of like yellow flags that can be raised, like there might be a conflict here. We allow you to run search terms throughout the entire database, but those search terms can be dynamic. Imagine that form that we just filled out. Well, we want to make it so that a conflict check gets run before I send out that text message, because I don't want to engage with someone who I'm not allowed to engage with because of a conflict. So you can have that conflict run automatically before any automation runs, and you can merge in the terms from that form to be searched in the conflict check. My first name, my last name, my email, and my phone can be merged in automatically. A search can be done throughout the entire database. It will look through notes. It will look through descriptions. It will look through every field, custom field that you have in the entire database, and it will stop that automation if it finds something that could be a possible conflict.
What a great addition.
Yeah.
Now, one other question I had along the way, and maybe you're going to get to it, is one of the things I get asked about a lot is the who knows who within the law firm. So even in the mid-sized firms, do you know somebody at this? Does Lawmatics give that view at all?
It does. So one way we do that is with the way that we track relationships. So on any matter, we have lots of different relationships that can be added, right? And this can be added through forms, through automations, whatever you want. But then this creates this tree, and you can create any different types of relationships you want. They can be internal people, they can be contacts that are external. And so then you can look at a contacts record, and you can very easily see everybody that they're connected to, what matters they're connected to, and map that together.
Love that. Yeah, experience tends to be a thing, and who's connected tends to be a thing I get asked about a lot.
I agree. Yeah, totally. So again, there is so much here, but I really want to double click on our reporting capabilities because they are, I think, by far best in the business and very critical to a tool like this. When you are a CR that is collecting so much data, you're creating custom fields for every little piece of data that you want to collect. You're tracking your marketing. And I should show that real quick. One thing I'll show you in settings is we allow you to create all your marketing sources and all your campaigns that you're running. Some of these are created automatically from a Google Ads integration, let's say. Others you're just manually creating in here when you have them. But these can all be mapped automatically to leads. Whether it's through URL, we have URL tracking. So you take a little pixel and you embed it on your website, and we can track where they're coming from using UTM parameters. And it allows us to really give you data on what marketing sources are working. We can track how much money you're spending on your marketing campaigns and your sources so that we can really give you good ROI analysis and cost per lead and cost per client. Really important information that is critical to any business that lawyers are, if you don't have something like Lawmatics, you're not currently tracking. But diving into the reporting tools here. So custom reporting is where it's at. We do offer some out-of-the-box analytics, which are really helpful, but I really like to focus on custom reporting. And I'm going to use referrals as a great example here. I would ask lawyers, what's your number one source of new customers and clients? And they're going to say referrals. It usually accounts for about 70 to 75% of all law firms' business, just in general. Okay, great. Who's your number one referral source? I don't know. I have to go check. All right, and then what's the value of all the cases that they've sent you in the last year or 2 years, whatever? I have no idea. Don't you think that it's pretty important for you to know all the details about your referral sources? Like, these are the people that you need to take to dinner, you need to send wine, you need to take for golf, whatever it is that you want to do. So let me show you how easy it is to build a beautiful custom report that will show you all your referrals. So this is all going to live update and give you a preview. So you can see at the bottom here, we've got 151 records. We can limit the date range to whatever date field we want, including custom date fields that we've created. This is just created at all times. So I'm just going to leave it at that. This is just going to be every matter we've ever had. You can see we've given you first name, last name, email already, but let's add some columns, and it's going to live update as you'll see. So campaign is going to have the name of the referral source in it. And then I want to get estimated value, which is a field that you can use to track what the value is you think of a case that's in your pipeline. So now I've got a few additional columns here, but you can see this is still 151 people, and you can see the campaign. Actually, if I add the source field in here, you can see a lot, like here's one referral, but here's a lot that are blank. I only want referrals. So I come down here to my filter and I'll go source is equal to referrals. And now it's limited to 31. So now it's really distilled everything down to just my referral sources. But this isn't very useful because if I were to save this right now, it's just a list of every single one. And I'm going to go and count like the number of times that Tom Riddle shows up, and I got to do all, like, that's not very helpful. So what I can do here is I can come here to this and I can group it by this column. So now I've got all my referral sources here. I can come over here to estimated value. I can get the sum or the average. Since it's a money field, I'll get the sum. Now I'll save and view. I'll hide the details. And now check this out. I've got this beautiful report, shows me all my referral cases, who referred me those cases, and then what the value is of those cases that they've referred. So here I see Jennifer Aniston has sent me 5 cases, $32,000 worth of cases, and I can see them right here. I can click into them, and then I can subscribe to this report. So maybe I want this report to be sent to me every day or every week or every month. I can schedule it to just be automatically sent to me. And what sort of puts the bow on this custom reporting is our custom dashboarding. So now all these custom reports that you take, you can actually turn them into a data visualization here right on the dashboard. And it's really easy to do. And you can choose whether you want it to be a bar chart or a pie chart and what value you want represented. But this is a really powerful tool that this kind of dashboarding just doesn't really exist in the legal industry.
And can each team or each person set up their own dashboard? Are they customizable, or is there one universally for the whole firm?
Currently, there is, when you create them, they're for everybody, but an iteration that's coming out very soon will make these more personal and allow you to share them to other people in your firm very easily.
Excellent. Excellent. As we wrap up here, Matt, anything that you feel like we haven't had a chance to cover as of yet?
No, look, I will just point out one of the most important things for people to realize are the integrations that we have. We have a lot, so we integrate with a lot of people's favorite platforms, and we have a lot more integrations coming. Clio, Filevine, Smokeball, Rocket Matter, Practice Panther. These are all really critical integrations, QuickBooks and CallRail and a couple other ones. And then we have some really exciting ones coming down the pipe. Carrot Legal is one of them we're very excited about. It would take an hour to do a really thorough demonstration. And we really like to learn about the firm itself to understand what's important to them. For example, we have really great user management, which allows you to create different roles and they can access different portions of the software. That might be very valuable to a firm with a lot of users. It might not be as valuable to a firm with very few lawyers. So we really like to understand and then show you the functionality and the features that really are most valuable to you. But you can see the platform is very robust, has a lot of functionality, and can be really tailored quite easily to your specific use case as a firm.
Love it. Thank you again, Matt. This has been a great tour through Lawmatics. I think I've got a great feel for it, and looking forward to the folks at Legal Tech Hub, everyone getting a chance to take a look at it.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.